85,
90.
90, 95.
We're playing for keeps.
We're on the market. Stay strong, sir.
Sold! Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 9th of December. My name's Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Well, Gary, we knocked out the second last weekend of the year, so we're looking right down the camera now, going one more auction weekend for the year, and then it's Speedo time, it's Pina Colada time, it's
Party time.
Tropicana oil
Cigars,
all
it's
over our
everything,
body as
yeah.
we float around the pool on the Lilo. And you cannot unthink that thought now, viewers. Sorry, I probably just ruined ruined your afternoon, ruined your evening, but that's where we'll be.
It's not a pretty picture, Phil. This is the penultimate edition. This is the second last edition, and you know it's been a gritty year.
Gritty.
You know, when we had our last team night,
good.
Our last big team night.
Yeah.
You know, when I walked in, I don't know if it happened to you. Said describe 2025. Did you get that from our social
Yes,
media
I did.
team? I
Yep.
interviewed. What was your word? One word.
Well, I'm just trying to remember what I said. It was gritty, I think.
Yeah, I think it was tough. I think it was a tough year.
Tough
it was
year?
a tough year, Phil. But it was a year that we got through.
Yep.
And got through with flying colours. We've accumulated some great new talent, and some of our people have grown and
some
done
of
well.
our team had personal best this year, so it's a tale of differences.
Yep.
But if we talk about just a purely business perspective, if we talk about the real estate industry, wasn't one of the real estate industry's best year. I would absolutely be in no shadow of a doubt to say no deposits on yachts.
No.
Or
Planes.
fourth cars,
Or
planes,
holiday houses,
or holiday houses were put down by real estate agents.
Not this year.
In fact,
No.
I would say that there would have been the odd
sale of quiet sale,
the
yeah.
odd truck. You know, the tray trucks.
Yeah, that picks you up when
that picks up the
hoists you up,
car.
yeah.
Few
repossessed ones,
few
yeah.
repossessed ones.
Yep.
But on balance, Gary, I'm very satisfied to have got through 2025 and see the back of it.
Well, look, I tell you, I had two slaps on the face last week, Phil.
I'm struggling physical
a bit.
slaps on the face?
No, you know,
metaphorical
slaps on the face. The first one was I went out for dinner with my old crew from Ripponlea Primary School, which was lovely, Phil.
Wow.
You know, going right
How
back
many
a few years ago.
How many still alive?
Not that many, you know. There's a few that have been to jail, there's a few that aren't here, which is very sad. Anyway, it's been a bit of a mixed crew there. And, you know,
how many of you were there?
There was 8 of us there.
Right.
So it was very nice. We went to a pizza place in Elwood, which was lovely.
Yes.
Although you know, it used to be run by a traditional Italian pizza family, and then it was taken over. So it was slightly a different sort of twist to it.
Yes.
But being very diplomatic there, of course.
Yes.
But anyway, I'm sitting there having a little bit of pizza and enjoying it, and a woman walks up and goes, "You know who I am?" And I didn't know. There weren't many people in the restaurant, and I said, "Are you familiar?" But you know those moments where you know someone but you can't quite know them. She goes, "You know who I am?" And she said, "I go, how do you know me?" I go, "Do you know who I am?" She goes, "Yes, you're Philip Kingston." So so that was an interesting a little bit of a story. And I said, "Well, no, I'm not. I'm actually Gary Peer." So that's the first thing is that. You know, I was mistaken, and I know you're mistaken for me a few times, but now I'm getting mistaken for you. So that was the first bit of a slap in the face. But the second one, the big one, was I'm booked to do an auction last week. And I'm not going to say the address or the vendor, and all of a sudden I see the auctioneer's moved, right? So I said to the agent, "Hey, I was booked to do this auction. How come I'm not doing it anymore? What's going on?" You know, in a joking way. And the agent was a bit sheepish and didn't want to tell me. I go, "Well, tell me." They wanted someone a bit younger. Now, that's I remember not so long ago. It doesn't feel like so long ago when people would say, "Gary, I'd love to give you my house for sale, but you're too young," right? Did you remember that was said to you many times? It's been a while since I've heard that, but now. Too old to auction.
And I love the fact that the auctioneer that they chose was me.
No, it was definitely not you. So you were not. I don't even think you were ever slated to do it. So you must have been way too old, because it sort of went, Kingston, forget about that, like, you know, oldest time itself. Peer, okay, but it's still a bit old and crusty. We'll use this guy anyway.
Okay.
It was past.
Well, I think
nothing. You know, it was past. I didn't want it.
You didn't wish it.
I wished it would be sold, but look, it was past.
So that young auctioneer wasn't able
to get over the line. But it was sold shortly after auction, and I know that auctioneer is a very good and accomplished auctioneer. But too old to auction. I never, Phil. I never. Anyway, so I'm trying to recover, Phil. I need a holiday to get over it. My ego's bruised.
I've got to tell you, and I'm going to say this publicly because you
First
are.
I'm Philip Kingston, and now I'm too old.
You are an attractive man.
Oh, Phil, thank you.
Having said that,
yes,
you do.
Just leave it there.
No, I'm going to tell. I'm going to tell you this.
I don't like what's coming.
No, I'm going to tell you very clearly.
I don't want it.
When your hair is cut short,
yes, which it is now,
right? Which is you look
I've
younger.
when
you let it go, which you always do, because you don't book in your next haircut when you have a haircut,
no, I don't.
you look old and vishimmeled. And for those of you that don't know what vishimmeled is,
you can look it up.
It's old and mouldy.
Yeah, old and mouldy. Vishimmeled is it's not a complimentary term.
No.
Anyway, well, thanks for that. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on out there in the market, because there was one home that didn't sell, and I got to say, I'm surprised, because this one home, Philip, had, and you mentioned it at the sales meeting yesterday, a urinal.
Yes.
Now, I tell you what, Phil, if you're looking for a house with a urinal, there's not many out there, and I'm picking urinals are going to make a big comeback now.
I don't believe that they will ever make a comeback, but we did sell. Well, we didn't sell a house, but the house does have a urinal, and I'm not sure why.
Is there a web, like if you go to REA, you can put in search criteria. If you put in urinal, what would happen?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure anything would come up. Let's move on from toilet humour, Gary.
Moving me along as you do.
Let's talk about the weekend, because we had a lot of auctions.
You had some thumpers too.
I did.
Not you did. We did.
We did.
Even the old auctioneers had some thumpers. In fact, I don't know whether the young ones did, but the old auctioneers had a few thumpers, and we managed to get through it.
Come on, what have you got for us?
Well, I got the clearance rate, Phil. 63% was the Domain, and REA clearance rate was 63%, and Gary Peer was 71%. Well done to our sellers, our agents, our buyers. Put up the towers and give us a bit of boast music.
Thank you very much. Although, are we boasting with 71%, Gary?
Well, we're boasting as the industry average. It wasn't our greatest, though, was it, really?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because there's a few different dynamics. I think this announcement that, there was interest rate decrease that was promised is no longer necessarily the promise that it was.
Yes.
Who would have thought a promise being made that's not being kept, Phil? But
so the interesting thing about interest rates, right?
Yes, interest rates are interesting, aren't they?
No, but if you think about interest rates, so they're now talking about interest rates going up.
Yep.
Now, why would they put interest rates up? Because the economy is bubbling along and doing well. So,
or is it just a lot of government spending?
No,
I think it might be.
All of that. So, it's a kind of double-edged sword. This interest rates, we've got to drop interest rates because the economy's not doing well. So is that a time to rush out and buy an apartment?
How did you go in VC?
It was the only subject that I scored more than 60%.
Is that right? I got 50 in economics. In fact, if I would have got 49, I would have failed my VCE. And I think some marker said, give Pierre 50. Because you know why? We don't want him back here next year, right?
That's right.
We don't want him back here next year. So you got 60, I got 50, yet you're here sprouting like as an economist, like, really?
Yeah.
Do you think people are...
Do you know the reason? The reason you can say whatever you like as an economist, because you're either right or wrong, and no one cares. No one's looking back and going, "Oh, you called it wrong." You just go, shrug your shoulders, and go, "I'll get it right next time." Yeah. Gary, let's talk about the marketplace. What have you got? What can you summarise? What interesting properties did we sell at interesting prices?
67 Narrawong Road, Phil. Like auctions, we learnt in COVID. We learnt in those COVID years.
Flexible.
The word was
pivot.
We learned how to pivot, like a ballerina, Phil.
Yep.
We pivot here, we pivot there, we turn,
it's more like
parry,
a door
we thrust.
pivots, Gary. I'm not sure ballerinas pivot.
Don't they?
No.
I'm not sure that's the right word. Anyway, 67 Narrawong Road was pulled in, Phil. It was auctioned. It was sold for $1,825,000. I think you did the auction, if I'm not surprised.
I did the auction. We were meant to do it on a Saturday or a Sunday.
We
brought it into a Wednesday afternoon.
Why would we have done that,
Because the team cleverly identified that there were 3 buyers. Yeah. One was going to be away on the weekend. Right. So after consultation with the buyers, we brought it in from Saturday to a Wednesday afternoon, 5 p.m.
Yep.
There was a small but intimate crowd there, but interestingly of the crowd, all the bidders were there.
Yep.
We put it on the market, we sold it well.
Yep.
So the pivot there is whether you're Saturday, whether you're Wednesday afternoon, I reckon, as you keep saying, and we're not going to go into it in detail, you want your midnight auction, won't be long.
Good. Yep. Oh, you come round.
There's a challenge.
I like it, mate. Midnight auction. Before I retire, and I'm not retiring in any time soon, Phil, so you can schedule.
So anybody that wants Gary's retirement to schedule into 12 p.m. auction.
No, don't do that. Phil, Ian Moss sang about Tucker's daughter, because, Tucker's daughter was a member, but Phil, Tucker Road is where the auction happened Saturday morning, and you were in fine form there.
Shout out to Oren, the vendor there, who is just the nicest bloke.
Yes, he is. I've heard wonderful things.
We met met him on a development,
Yep.
became friendly with him. He entrusted us with the sale of his property. So shout out, Oren. Not
Oren.
only are you a great bloke, but you had a beautiful house, which
Yeah.
went really well with multiple bidders.
Beautiful bloke,
Yep.
beautiful home, and beautiful auction,
Yep,
Phil,
yep.
by one of the senior auctioneers at Gary Pruitt Associates.
He had
Philip Kingsley.
no problems with my
Is that right?
age.
Fair, isn't that great? Phil, 4 bidders competed there. It was actually written up in the Age,
Yes,
that particular
yep.
auction.
Sold very well.
Sold really well. Sold for $1,335,000, well over the reserve, Phil. Some good coverage there
Yep.
for Leon and the Age. Phil, 9 at 353 Alma Road, Caulfield North. Well, that was owned by somebody very interesting, Phil. In fact, the person that owned that was responsible for the entertainment at the grand final, brought out Snoop Dogg, the
Okay.
owner of that property. So
Wow.
if you like the doggy dog, you can thank the vendor of 353 Alma Road, which was sold, Philip, for $650,000. It was running hot.
Excellent.
I didn't get to do the auction.
No, sold before auction.
I was up for it, Phil. I was young enough. I was fit enough. The vendor was happy to have me there, but I was wandering around at auction time because I had nothing to do because it was sold
I
before.
understand.
Let's move on, Phil. The runaway train of the week. Train, Lewis. I know you're over it. It's staying here. It's staying here. 119 Gourlay Street. Now, Phil, this was a very, very unique property. This is as good a one bedroom as you can get, and really, you don't see many one bedrooms that ever get to sort of 500,000 or more. This one, we thought it would be popular in the 4s. Boy, were we wrong.
Yep.
It just ran. It was smashed out of the ballpark. There was no less than 5 bidders, active bidders, and there was probably about 3 or 4 more there. This is a unique property. We'll put it up on the screen because it just goes to show what's possible and what can happen. The price is undisclosed, but it really went way over
Courtyard
anything imagined.
gardens,
Courtyard, yeah.
really, if you've got 2 buyers that want some outdoor space on a given day,
definitely.
magic can happen.
Yeah, we've got this wonderful apartment at 5 at 380 Inkerman, which was passed in. Phil has an asking price of $399.5, and it's got a lovely balcony, beautiful aspect,
Sounds
great
like a
floor
buy.
plan. That's a snap purchase, Phil. Let's move on to Glen Ira Road, 449 Glen Ira Road. You did that auction, Leo. You handled it. I was there with you.
Sold to a
Congratulations.
lovely couple who'd been looking around for quite some time.
Yep.
And nice to see them buy a beautiful home.
It is a little bit competitive too, that auction, Phil.
Yep.
There was a few other people there that weren't quite ready to perform.
Do you know, it's a lovely house,
Yeah.
lovely couple. And I'm just going to say publicly, I know this is superficial,
Yes.
but a very good-looking couple too.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you're having an auction and couples stand out.
Yeah, well, you're right. It is superficial.
yeah.
Anyway, well done to the buyers of that wonderful home. That is a beautiful home, Phil. And
Very chiseled
I
jaw
think so.
he had.
Yeah.
It was massively chiseled jaw.
Yeah.
We
love a chiseled jaw,
If I
don't we?
looked like that, Gary, I would not be your partner. I'd be I'd be making films, I reckon.
You would be making film. Maybe I could just do lighting or something. I could just support you, you know.
Yeah,
But the reality is that you don't look like that.
No.
You are my partner.
So-
You're getting too old to do auctions. So
Back
let's
to
move
work.
on to 14 Edinburgh Avenue, Philip. It wasn't sold, but
No,
we
but
want
what
to
a-
scream about this property because this is such a... How can that not be sold? What is
Gary,
going on?
That's a beautiful home. You could move into it, you could refurb it, you could add to it, or you can just attack the land from a redevelopment point of view
it's
and
for sale.
go a north-facing block of land, circa 600 square metres. That is a screaming buy.
It is a screaming buy. I don't know if we have the screamer.
No,
Did
we're
you
not
like the
doing
screamer?
that.
Let's
We're
have a
not
little
doing
scream. Phil, it is a screaming buy. 14 Edinburgh Avenue. That is great value. $1,950,000, Philip.
Yep.
Someone should jump into that. And then I had the great pleasure of seeing you, and you'd done a full day's work on Sunday, I got to say. I saw you at the 5:30 auction before you went out for dinner with your lovely Irene. Happy birthday, Irene.
Yes, happy birthday.
She still, to me, she's still that teenager that I knew, but probably before I knew you, Phil. She's still a young, healthy, lovely lady.
Well, I'm going to put up a
And
shot
that's it.
now of her on television, just showing you that she has not moved on from the
teenage
incredible
years.
1960s.
Yeah.
So there's a photo of both of
It
us.
wasn't the 1960s when she was a teenager, Phil.
No, she was born in the 1960s.
Yes, but she was a
but have a look
teenager.
at this photo, Gary. How good is that? And those pants that I'm wearing, I'm thinking about wearing them to an auction.
Gee, you're snappy. You really are very snappy, Phil. 353A Glen Ira Road, was our last auction, Phil. Unsold at the moment. 1995 buys that, and that is a stunning town residence, beautifully built. I walked through that and went up and down, in and out. I thought, this is fantastic, Phil. For like just under $2 million to get something like that in Caulfield North. That's another great buy. Let's talk about what's coming up, Phil, because we have no less than 28 auctions to get through.
Let's have a look at them all.
Review them. It is, in fact, 27 auctions we've got, Phil. We cannot wait for the weekend. We can't wait for the weekend because we are performing as quickly as tomorrow, Philip, with some auctions at 5:30 p.m. We've got 3 of them. Park Street, Elsternwick, although I think it might be sold, Phil, but if not, I'm going to be there auctioning that tomorrow.
Gary, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 car space. Aviv Samuel and Izzy Anstey have the honours there with a beautiful wraparound courtyard.
You have the honours of being in Dandenong Road for this wonderful apartment. You'll be meeting
Vanessa McGlynn and Johnny Sweepo, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a car space, a beautiful size kitchen meals family room, beautiful timber floors.
In Germany, they say good Morgen, Phil, which is good morning, but we are going to be in the afternoon in Morgan Street, Carnegie.
Meeting Arlene Joffe, Leor Samuel, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street car parking, more importantly, 591 square metres of prime land and a gorgeous Art Deco building.
Phil, I've got my auction at 6:30. I'm looking forward to meeting Leon Guzenfitter and Vanessa McGlynn at 6:30 in Northcote Avenue.
3 fabulous bedrooms, 2 beautiful bathrooms and a double lock-up garage, wraparound courtyard gardens. That is a wonderful property.
And talking about wonderful property, how hot is this property, Philip? Porter Street, Paran, what a great looking
Gary,
property.
it's a penthouse style apartment with breathtaking panoramic city views. Liam Elbaum and Darren Krongold have got the honours there. 3 incredible bedrooms, 2 beautiful bathrooms, parking for 2 cars. The views there, Gary, it's like being in the meat packers of New York.
Let's move on to Saturday, Philip. You've only got 1 auction on Saturday. That's
Yep.
it. So you can have a little bit of a rest because you've got a very big Sunday. But at 10:30, there's double auction action. I'm kicking off in Younger Avenue. Great looking block of
Arlene
apartments.
Joffe and Daniel Peer have had the honours there. That is a really good development. That's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and undercover parking for 2 cars. Wonderful property, great address.
Mark Kirkham and Adi Ignatius are hitting it in St Kilda and Alma Road. Jeremy Rosen's auctioning for
Apartment number 10, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom and 2 car spaces. That's quite a large apartment. I love those kind of 60s and 70s buildings.
Triple auction action at 11:30 a.m. Philip. 4 at 91 Oakley Road, Carnegie is where you'll find Leo Samuel.
Working with Bernie Mel and Izzy Anstey. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. That also has a lock-up garage, beautiful garden areas. That's a fabulous home.
Now, how schmick is this home, Philip? Pascoe Avenue, Bentley. That is your sole Saturday auction. You're going to be there at
Gary,
11:30.
it's not a home, but it could be. It's a parcel of land with an older style home. This can be redeveloped. It's the most incredible 774 square metre block. That is just the most extraordinary opportunity.
And the image I'm looking at, Phil, is a home that you could have there.
Correct,
Of course.
correct.
But that's a great opportunity, Philip. 1A Davey Avenue is where I'm going to be at 12:30 meeting Leon Guzenfitter and Vanessa McGlynn.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a lock-up garage, Gary. That's single level living at its finest and Davey Avenue is just the best location.
Jeremy Rosens will be doing his thing in Hampton Street in Brighton at 12:30. Looking forward to this one.
Meeting Daniel Michmacher there, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and car parking for 2 cars, beautiful courtyard garden areas. That's a wonderful home.
You'll be living a great life in Limbiner Street, Carnegie, Philip. 12:30 is where you'll find Leo Samuel auctioning this terrific home.
Meeting Rishi Thacker there, Gary. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a lock-up garage, fabulous entertaining areas and a wonderful garden.
1:30, Dunoon Street, Murrumbina. Jeremy Rosens is auctioning this wonderful property with Kevin Huang and Daniel Fisher.
Yes, Gary. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, a huge courtyard garden. That's a great location and a great apartment.
And I am bringing home Saturday afternoon, Philip, with 2 Glen Huntley Road auctions. The first one is in Elsternwick. I love this building on the corner of Parkside. Is that right?
Gary, it's an incredible building and just the best location. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, an extra large apartment, and don't we love that location?
We love that, and we also love Bayside Elwood, Philip, and I'm auctioning this wonderful town residence. It's been handled by Morris Bitton. I'm going to be there at 2:30.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, Gary, and a carport. That's a really good development, and of course, you in the heart of everything that Elwood has to offer.
And the numbers through there, Phil, have been huge because it's very well priced and very unique. That brings us to Sunday, 10:30 a.m. is where you're going to kick us off, Philip, in Doon Street.
Gary, this is the most magnificent home. 4 incredible bedrooms, 3 beautiful bathrooms, a double lock-up garage, further car parking in front. It's got wonderful entertaining areas. I think my favourite feature of that property, and there are many, is the incredible kitchen meals family room that overlooks the incredible back garden. Darren Krongold, Benjamin Rothschild have had the honours.
Phil, Inkerman Road, Caulfield North is an 11:30 auction. I love this wonderful oversized apartment.
Gary, it's a ripper. Bernie Mell and Daniel Peer have had the honours there, and that's a really good size apartment with a courtyard garden.
Let's keep up the groove, Philip, because we are moving on to Caulfield North, Kooyong Road. This has been very popular. Vanessa McGlynn has been handling it. You're
Together
the
with
auctioneer.
John Sweepo, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a lock-up garage, a car space in front. That is a great property, Gary. Really like that home.
Simon Rodolnik is going to be the auctioneer in Blenheim Street in Balaclava. We've sold many apartments in this wonderful, wonderful complex, Philip. This beautiful development. It's happening at 11:30.
Gary, we love this development and we love Carlisle Street, and you can walk to everywhere you want. Mark Kirkham, Adi Ignatius, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 basement car space and a wonderful courtyard garden.
Royal Avenue, Glenhuntly is where you'll find Graham Callan auctioning in this building. He's sold a number of apartments. This is one of the best ones there.
Meeting Alex Stupa there, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom and 1 car space. That's a good building, great location.
Back to College we go, Phil. College Street, Elsternwick, and this has been handled by Romy Skolnick and Daniel Peer. This is an incredible home.
Well, this is the house with everything. First of all, College Street is a wonderful and prestigious address. This home is 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, double lock-up garage, car parking in front as well, so you could probably get another 2 cars there at least. It's got an indoor swimming pool, Gary. This has got everything that opens and shuts. Looking forward to that
I'd
property.
love to join you there, Phil, but I can't, unfortunately, because I'm going to be in Beach Street, Caulfield South at 12:30 with Nikki Janover and Jessica.
And Arlene Joffe, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a lock-up garage. We love Beach Street. We love that part of Caulfield South. You've got Princess Park and Hawthorne Road. What's not to love?
Phil, talking about prestige, we've saved one of the best homes for right at the end of the year. 5 Yanaki Crescent. Is there a more beautiful property in Caulfield North?
This is the most incredible home. It was completely renovated by Russell Casper, one of Australia's best architects. It sits on 772 square metres of prime north-facing land, right in the epicentre of Caulfield North. 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, double lock-up garage. Darren Crongold, Benjamin Rothschild have had the honours. That is a standout home.
And you are going to bring us home, Phil, with a 3:30 and 4:30 auction, and then you can collapse and call it a year. Great home for an offer at 76 Murray Street in Caulfield, Phil. We did have 74 and 76, but 74 is no more.
No,
Sold.
Leon Gusenfitter and John Sweepo have had the honours there. This home sits on 551 square metres of prime land, 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking for a couple of cars. That's a great property and a great address.
381 Stephen Street is where the final auction will be held of 2025 for you. I've got one still a few days later, Phil, but tell us a bit about this
Gary,
wonderful property.
brand new perfection. This is as good as it gets. 4 bedrooms, 4 beautiful bathrooms, a double lock-up garage, a lift to take you from the ground floor to the first floor should you have gone too hard and had too many glasses of wine. Nikki Janover and Darren Crongold have had the honours there. That property is magnificent. It's as good as it gets. Standout piece of development.
And there's a few things, Phil, that are coming up. Let's just wrap them up because that'll just wrap the whole year up. We've got an expression of interest campaign that is finishing next Monday, Phil, 305 Alma Road, Caulfield
Gary,
North.
a stunning home sitting on 688 square metres of land. That is a period home at the front, but a drop-dead gorgeous 2-storey extension at the rear. That's a home with everything. 4 beautiful bedrooms, 4 beautiful bathrooms, lock-up garage, lock-up carport area and a kind of loft style upstairs over the carport area for as many as 3 cars. That is the most incredible property and beautifully renovated, virtually rebuilt.
And I did say Sunday was your last auction, but we're going to do it one more time because we have one more auction, Philip, on the 17th of December. That is your final booked auction, 10 Marlborough Street, Caulfield North.
Gary, this is a fabulous home, 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a lock-up garage, big entertaining areas. Nikki Janover and Arlene Joffe have loved every moment of being there.
And Phil, I'm going to bring down the curtain then on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. for a twilight auction. This is a great apartment in Hall Street, Cheltenham.
2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 car space. Lior Bar and Leon Gusenfitter have had the honours there. What a great way to finish the year as that just spills over there. Well done. Is that you kind of saying goodbye to 2025?
Well, kind of. I didn't quite mean it to be that dramatic, Phil. I just thought I'd put it down. But as it turned out, the wind just swept it off in some poetic way, Philip, in some magical, mystical, poetic way. That was sailing out into the sunset. There's our auction list done.
One more episode of GPTV next week where we will wrap up the week, we will wrap up the year, we'll bid everyone farewell, we'll welcome in 2026. Predictions. We'll bring some predictions. Yep. All will be happening for one more episode next week. Thank you for watching the second last edition for 2025. I'm Philip Kingston. See you next week.
I'm Gary Peer. Thanks for tuning in.